Well, hi, this is Jay Arthur, author of Lean Six Sigma Demystified and Lean Six Sigma for Hospitals. January seems like a good time for a New Year's resolution, and so I've got one I'd like you to consider. I see lots of data, and oftentimes that data has been overcooked, pre-processed, pasteurized, homogenized to the point where all of the goodness and richness and things you need to do to solve problems is gone from it. All right, so it may look tasty, but the problem is how do I get back to solving some problems? So what I'd like you to do is consider going on a raw data diet. Now, what's a raw data diet going to do for you? Well, the thing I keep seeing is when you've summarized things by day, by week, by month, by quarter, by whatever, essentially they've taken all the goodness, the richness, the information you need to solve your problem out of the data. So summarized data has little or no nutritional value. And this makes it very hard to do problem solving. So go on a raw data diet. Now, what's a raw data diet? Well, you need to have information about each defect, mistake, and error. You need to know when it happened, where did it happen, in this case, line. What happened, what type of defect, in this case, folded flap, bent and damaged, carton will not open. How did it happen? Well, we don't have that information. Who was involved? Who did it affect? Who were the customers? Who were the suppliers? Whatever it is, right? Who was involved? And if possible, if you have any information about why it happened, a little bit of root cause information can go a long way. So when we have all that information, then we can start to do some analysis. So if you have data that looks like this, and this is denied charges by hospital, it could be worth $5 million a year. This is what I call the invisible low-hanging fruit. Right? You can see that you were having denied charges, but you can't figure out how to fix it when it's all been summarized by month, by quarter, by whatever. What about this data? This is about scrap weight in a manufacturing organization. That could be worth $1 million a year. So that's a lot of money, right? So this is the low-hanging invisible fruit that almost nobody can find because it's all hidden inside of the raw data. So that's what I'd like you to do. Consider going on a raw data diet. Collect your information. This information may be hiding in existing systems already. It may be in purchasing, payments, ordering, invoicing, medical record systems, you name it. This data lives somewhere. And if not, you may have to start to collect it. And that's not too hard to do, right? It's just line by line what happened and where did it happen, what happened, how did it happen, who happened, and why. And the new Data Mining Wizard 2.0 will take that data, pivot the data, chart the data, turn it into a chart of defects by date. Then turn it into Pareto charts. And here we see the first one it looks at is, line 3 is the big hitter at 52% of the total defects. Then it'll drill down. And it'll actually calculate and come up with the next level down, which is line 3 by type of defect. Well, folded flaps are the biggest contributor to defects in line 3. And then it'll add in a fishbone diagram. So during 2014, folded flaps accounted for 39.5% of defects, which was higher than desired and caused rework and lost profit. All right, so it'll build an entire improvement story for you from your raw data. I used to spend hours doing this. Now I just click a button. Another way to go about it, the pivot table wizard will take that data and summarize it by line and by type of defect, and then you could actually use the Pareto chart to do Pareto charts of all of those different pieces of information inside of that pivot table. So there's lots of ways to go about this, but only if you start with raw data. Otherwise, analysis is impossible. There's my recommendation for a New Year's resolution. Go on a raw data diet. And I think you'll find that that's the way to start making dramatic improvements throughout your organization. And you can start doing that right now. I'm Jay Arthur. Go out there and figure out how to solve the seemingly unsolvable problems.